there is a big correlation between the Hofes and the societal rite of passage. Or should I say the traditional rite of passage? There's a big correlation between the two. And hear me out, eh? Let me give my self-awareness opinion on this phase. At least as I break it down, you will understand the correlation. Now, what is a Hofes? A Hofes is often associated with women in their 20s who are still experimenting instead of being in relationships or instead of being in a marriage, basically. So it is a label rooted in traditional systems that sought to control female sexuality by defining strict roles and expectations. Yet we need to understand in today's era, where personal freedom, self-exploration, and self-worth are emphasized, this phase is more accurately understood as an experimental stage. When you look at it as an experimental stage, then you will understand that phase for women instead of demonizing it based on traditional systems and not modern systems. Because this is a period where a woman lacking societal rites of passage that were offered traditionally, that once provided structured guidance, explores different experiences to understand herself, her desires, and her boundaries. Without this structured guidance, many women go through trial and error to discover what aligns with their values, emotional needs, and even long-term goals. So this phase allows them to identify their worth, not just in romantic relationships, but in all aspects of life, including self-respect, career aspiration, personal boundaries. By the time they are ready to commit, they ideally choose a partner who matches their self-identified value, rather than settling due to societal pressure or naive expectations. Now, are you seeing where the correlation is coming in? Now, here's where I have a problem with the experimental stage in this phase. Here's where I have a problem with that experimental part in the whole phase. Is when a woman continues engaging in superficial or transactional relationships, whether for financial gain, emotional validation, or let's say other external benefits, beyond the point of self-discovery, beyond the point of that whole phase, then now that one indicates that she has chosen a lifestyle based on exchange rather than depth. So in such a case, it is no longer an experimental phase, but a conscious preference for relationships that serve an immediate or strategic purpose rather than deep, meaningful connection. When you look at it from this angle, then you come and realize that every individual, regardless of gender, goes through phases of self-discovery. It's only that for the men, it hasn't been given a name yet. But every gender goes through phases of self-discovery. In the absence of structured guidance, the societal rite of passage that was used in the traditional method means people will find their way in their own time and manner. What matters is the awareness of when one has truly found their why or their worth and whether their actions align with that realization. My people, be self-aware enough so that you can spot these labels that represent beliefs that no longer align with you. So that you don't let labels, you don't let societal pressure dictate who you are and what you're meant to be. My people, heal. Heal, my people.